I used to think I was pretty organized. Everything had a box, a bin, a lid. But the more I put things away, the more chaotic it felt. Every time I needed something, I was digging, shuffling, reopening the same drawers. So I changed how I did it. I stopped trying to make it look perfect and started asking, when do I actually use this? And where would it make sense to keep it? Little by little, I went through my space, not all at once, not for show, just to make things clearer and easier to live with. This video walks you through the 6 steps I followed. They're not complicated. You can do them while living your regular life while you're cooking or just passing through a room. So if you're tired of constantly tidying and still feeling like your home isn't quite working, try this. I'll show you exactly what to do step by step. Simple, doable, no overthinking. Let's start with step 1, notice where things actually pile up. I don't mean the big messes. I mean the little spots where stuff just shows up over and over, even after you've cleaned. For me, it was the end of the kitchen counter. I'd tidy it, wipe it down, and by the next day it had mail keys, a toy, a water bottle, receipts, again. At first I thought I just wasn't trying hard enough, but after a while I realized, no, this is just where things naturally land. And it wasn't just that one spot. There was also a basket near the stairs that kept overflowing, a chair in the bedroom that somehow always had clothes on it. And I kept thinking, why is this always messy? I just cleaned this. That's when I stopped trying to fix it right away and just started watching. For a few days, I paid attention. Where do things go when I'm in a rush? Where do I drop stuff without even thinking? What gets left out all the time? And once I saw it, I realized those were the places that needed a better setup. Not more cleaning, just a smarter way to catch what naturally happens. So in this step, you don't have to clean anything. Don't buy bins. Don't touch the label maker. Just pay attention. What gets messy again and again? This changed a lot for me, because once I noticed the patterns, I could work with them instead of fighting them. That counter, I put a tray there. Now when stuff lands, it at least looks contained. The chair in my room, I added a hook on the wall so I could hang things quickly instead of tossing them. Not perfect, but better. I think we often skip this step because it feels too simple. But honestly, it's one of the most important things I did. It helped me stop wasting time retidying the same spots, and it gave me a way to fix the real issue, not just the surface mess. So that's step 1, just notice. That's it. You'll be surprised how much that alone can shift. And when you're ready, we'll move on to step 2, which is where things start to feel a little more doable. I'll show you how picking one small spot, and only one, can help you build real momentum without burning out. Also, tomorrow, I'll be sharing the method I used to declutter before Christmas to have a tidy holiday season, and these methods worked really well for me last year. Be sure to tune in. But first, let's try starting small. Okay, step 2 is start with one small area. I used to make this mistake all the time. I'd stand in the middle of the living room, look around at everything, and think, okay, I need to clean the whole house today. And immediately I'd feel exhausted. Sometimes I didn't even start because just the idea of it felt like too much. What finally helped me was picking one spot. Not a room, not a category, just a small specific area I could finish in one go. The first time I tried this, I picked the top of my dresser. It wasn't terrible, but it had enough going on to feel messy. A few receipts, jewelry, I forgot to put away a random hairbrush, some skincare stuff, a charging cable that didn't belong there. I gave myself permission to only deal with that surface. That's it. No closet, no drawers. And it worked. I cleared it, wiped it down, put things back where they actually go. It took maybe 15 minutes. But when I walked past it later that day, I felt like I could breathe. That one clean surface made the whole room feel better, even though nothing else had changed. So when I say start small, I mean really small. Like one shelf, one drawer, the inside of your bag, a corner of the counter that's always cluttered. Not the pantry, not the garage, not the whole kitchen. Because here's the thing, it's not just about saving time, it's about building momentum. When you finish something, even something tiny, your brain gets a little reward. You feel like, okay, that's done. I can do more later. Some days I'll do one small area and stop. Other days, that one task gives me energy to keep going. Either way, I win. Because I finished something. Not halfway. not got distracted and forgot. Fully done. And honestly, small is more honest. If I try to tackle a big zone when I'm tired or overwhelmed, I either quit halfway or get annoyed. But if I choose a spot I can fully finish, I actually enjoy it. I put on a playlist or a podcast, maybe light a candle. It becomes almost like a reset, not a chore. One tip that helped pick a spot you see often. Somewhere you pass by multiple times a day. When that area looks calm, it gives you a little boost every time you walk past. That's why I love starting with surfaces: bedside tables, bathroom counters, entryway benches. High visibility wins. Also, don't overthink it. You don't have to pick the best spot to start. Just pick something you can finish and finish it. Even if the rest of the house is a mess, that little corner will remind you what's possible. For me, it shifted how I saw my house. It stopped being everything is messy and became this part is done and that's a start. So that's step 2. Pick one small spot. Finish it. Look at it every time you walk by. Let it remind you that you're making progress even when the rest still feels like chaos. Step 3 is simple but surprisingly hard. Let go of one thing you don't use anymore. Not a whole box. Not a big purge. Just one thing. The first time I did this, I wasn't even planning to declutter. I was opening a drawer looking for something else, and I saw this pair of sunglasses I hadn't worn in maybe 3 years. And the funny thing is, I didn't even like them when I bought them. They pinched my nose a bit and made me feel awkward. But I kept them. Every time I opened that drawer, they were just there. That day, I finally picked them up, held them for a second, and just said, okay. No. They went in a donation bag, and I haven't thought about them since. That one little moment taught me a lot. Because for a long time, I thought decluttering meant doing a huge session, taking out everything, sorting for hours, making a whole mess first. But this felt like the opposite. Quiet. Simple. Almost nothing. And yet it gave me a little space back, not just in the drawer, but in my head. So in this step, that's all you're doing. Pick one thing. Maybe it's a shirt that doesn't fit quite right. A kitchen tool you never reach for. A bottle of shampoo that smells weird, but you kept just in case. We all have those things. Stuff that's not useful, not loved, just hanging around out of habit. You don't have to make a big decision. You're not clearing out your whole closet. You're just building the muscle of letting go. And honestly, sometimes it feels a little uncomfortable. I've had moments where I picked something up, held it, and still felt unsure. What if I need it later? What if I regret it? But here's the thing, 99% of the time I didn't regret it. In fact, I forgot about it completely. What I remembered was the relief of not seeing that thing anymore. The drawer that opened easier. The shelf that looked cleaner. The quiet feeling of, hey, that's one less thing I have to deal with. One small trick that helped me, I keep a goodbye bag in a closet. Nothing dramatic, just a reusable tote. And anytime I come across something I'm ready to part with, it goes in there. When it's full, I drop it off at donation. That way, I don't have to wait for a decluttering day. Letting go becomes part of regular life. So if you're watching this and you're not sure where to start, look around. What's something you haven't used in a long time and probably won't miss? Don't overthink it. Just start with one. That small act is what shifts the whole process. Because once you've let go of one thing, it gets easier and easier. And before you know it, you're not just clearing space, you're changing how your home feels. Step 4 is something I used to skip all the time, grouping similar items together. Sounds obvious, right? But I'll be honest, for a long time I just didn't do it. I'd put things wherever they fit. One pair of scissors in the kitchen, another in the office drawer, one floating in a pencil cup somewhere. Same with tape pens, batteries, chargers. They were all over the place. And because of that, I kept thinking we were out of things when we weren't. We had 4 rolls of tape. I just didn't know where they were. So this step is simple, put with that's it. The first time I really paid attention to this was with medicine. I had some in the kitchen, some in the bathroom, some in a purse pocket, and every time someone got sick, it was a mini scavenger hunt. So one day I gathered it all in one place. Just one plastic bin, labeled, done. And it was such a relief. I didn't even realize how scattered it all was until I saw it together. From there, I started doing the same with other things. All the office supplies went in one zone. All the extra chargers got their own pouch. All the light bulbs finally lived in one place instead of floating around in random drawers. And you know what happened? I stopped overbuying. I stopped wasting time looking for stuff. I stopped feeling like every little task was harder than it needed to be. It doesn't mean everything has to be perfectly organized right away. Just getting the same types of things in the same general area already makes a big difference. It also helps when you're trying to declutter because you can see what you actually have. I once found 3 vegetable peelers. 3. And I only ever use one. By grouping things together, it becomes really clear what's extra, what's broken, what you honestly forgot you owned. And it's not just about stuff. It helps you move through your day faster. If you keep hair stuff in one spot, you don't have to check 3 drawers when you're rushing in the morning. If your kids' art supplies are all in one caddy, cleanup is 10 times easier. One thing I noticed is that I used to spread things out because I thought it would make them easier to reach. Like I'll keep a pen in every room. But what ended up happening was that nothing felt organized. And when I needed a pen that worked, I still had to dig. Now, even if the storage isn't pretty, it makes sense. And I can find what I need without thinking too hard. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and don't know what to do next, this step is a good reset. Pick one category: chargers, tools, snacks, socks, whatever, and just bring them together. They don't have to be perfectly stored, just in the same place. You'll be surprised how calming it is even if nothing else changes yet. Step 5 is about something really simple: putting things back where they belong. Now that sounds basic. I used to think, of course I should do that, everyone knows that. But here's the thing, I didn't actually have a where it belongs for a lot of stuff, which meant I'd put it wherever there was space in the moment. And then when I needed it again, I had no idea where I'd left it. What made this worse was that I'd get frustrated at myself. Like, why do I keep losing my charger? Or I just saw the tape yesterday, where did it go? Turns out I never gave those things an actual home, so they floated around and I wasted time looking for them over and over. Once I noticed that pattern, I started doing something different. Whenever I picked up something I use often, my keys, a hair clip, the scissors, I'd ask myself, where would I naturally put this every time so I don't have to think about it later? And then I made that spot official. For example, I put a small bowl near the front door for my keys. Before that, they ended up in my bag, my jacket pocket, the kitchen counter, anywhere. But now they go in the same bowl every time. And it's weird how such a small thing can make you feel a little more together. I did the same thing with chargers. We kept losing them, not because we didn't have enough, but because they were always in random places. So I picked one drawer, added a few little dividers, and that's where all the chargers live now. It's not fancy, but it works. Here's the part I didn't expect. When things have a place, you use less energy, keeping your space clean. You don't have to decide where to put something every time, you just return it. It doesn't have to be complicated. A basket in the right corner, a hook on the wall. It doesn't even have to be labeled, just consistent. And the more I did this, the easier everything else got. Tidying took less time. Finding things was quicker. And I stopped saying I just had it, where did it go? The trick, I think, is to set up your space based on how you live, not how you think it should look. If you always drop your bag by the couch, maybe that's where the bag lives. Put a hook there. Don't fight the habit, support it. I'm not perfect at this. There are still days when things end up out of place, but now at least I know where they go. And that simple clarity, knowing where stuff belongs, makes cleaning up feel less like a chore and more like a reset. So if things keep getting left out, don't assume you're being messy. Ask yourself, does this item actually have a home? And if the answer is no, that's your clue. Make it easy. Make it make sense. That's what keeps things from becoming chaos all over again. Step 6 is what keeps everything from falling apart again, just a short daily reset. For me, it's around 10 to 15 minutes. Nothing intense, no timer, no deep cleaning. It's just a small pocket of time I use to put the house back to neutral. Usually I do it at night after dinner. Not always perfectly, some days I'm too tired and skip it, but most days I just do a quick walk around. I'll clear the kitchen counter, throw toys into a bin fold, a blanket, carry a couple things upstairs. That's it. At first I thought, this isn't going to make a difference. But honestly, that little bit changes everything. Because the next morning I don't wake up already feeling behind. The kitchen looks usable. The living room doesn't scream chaos. It's like giving my future self a small favor. What helped me stick with it was keeping it simple. I don't aim for clean, I aim for better than it was. Some nights it's just one room, or even just one surface. Other nights I might do more if I have energy, but I never force it. I also made it kind of nice. I put on music or a podcast. I use a small basket to carry things back to where they belong. It becomes less of a chore and more of a wind-down routine. And here's what's cool, it builds momentum. You start to notice less buildup, less mess turning into a full-blown disaster. Because when you do a little every day, things don't have time to spiral. I think the key is to make this work for your life. Some people like to reset in the morning. Others do it after the kids go to bed. Whatever time you choose, just keep it short and doable. The goal isn't perfection, it's rhythm. So even if your house is messy by 6 p.m., you know I'll get to it later. I have a system. That alone helps take the mental load down a notch. So that's step 6. Give yourself 15 minutes a day to reset. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it keeps things from piling up again and gives your home that calm baseline to start from each day. So those were the 6 steps that helped me make our home feel calmer, more organized, and honestly easier to live in. It didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't about doing everything perfectly, but doing just a little one space at a time and having a system I could stick with made such a big difference in how I feel day to day. And if you're feeling the pressure of decluttering for the upcoming holiday, don't worry in the next video. Tomorrow, I'll be sharing the method I used to declutter before Christmas to have a tidy holiday season, and these methods worked really well for me last year. Be sure to tune in. If this video was helpful for you, please give it a like, share it with a friend who might need it too, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.